Okay, let's look at how we write numbers. Now, to express numbers, we have certain specific symbols to correspond to certain number words, and these are going to be our familiar symbols 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And for historical reasons, these are called the Hindu-Arabic numerals. Now, if we're going to try and write a number using these, it's actually helpful to express these in the Chinese fashion, or if you're going to be speaking in English, then we'll use the saying 10 method. And there's an important transitional form that's known as the dispositional form of these numbers. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue to retain the unit names, but we're going to replace the number of each unit with the corresponding numeral. So, for example, suppose I wanted to write down the number 4 tens 5. And again, if you're thinking standard English, this is the number 45, but if you're thinking the saying 10 method, that's going to be 4 tens 5. Now, what I am going to look at is, well, I know I have a symbol for the number words, and I'm going to replace those. So the word 4 I can replace with the corresponding symbol. So I'll do that. And then likewise, the word 5 I can also replace with the corresponding symbol. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I end up with this expression of the number, and I'm going to keep this unit word tens here. And that's going to be my dispositional form of the numeral. And this is exactly how you would write the number in Chinese using the corresponding Chinese symbols for 4, 10, and 5. Now, to go from the dispositional form to our own positional system of numeration is a very small step. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. What we're going to do is we're going to just drop the unit names. For example, let's say I want to write down the numbers 604 tens 8. And so I can do that by replacing the number words with the corresponding numerals, 6, 4, and 8. And then I'm just going to drop those unit names, 100 and 10. And that'll look like this. There goes the hundreds, there goes the tens, and there's my final expression of the number 604 tens 8. Now, before I continue, there's actually 3 inconsistencies we need to resolve in how we name numbers. And so let's take a look at that number, 604 tens 8. And the thing you might notice here is that the 6 is associated with the unit, the hundreds. Likewise, the 4 is also associated with the unit, the tens, but this 8 here doesn't have a unit attached to it. And that's an inconsistency, and we can resolve that by coming up with a name for the smallest unit. We'll call this a 1, and we'll attach the name of that unit to the 8, and so we'll call our number 604 tens 8 ones. So the resolution of our first inconsistency is we're going to have a name for that smallest unit. The next inconsistency appears when we describe the teen numbers. For example, consider a number like 10, 7, which we now call 10, 7, ones, with that name for the smallest unit. Now, we notice here there's a new inconsistency. The smallest unit now has a number associated with it, 7 ones, but our next size unit, the 10, does not actually have a number associated with it. So since I've gone through the trouble of saying that there is actually a 10 here, I should be a little bit more explicit and indicate that there are, in fact, 1 10 present. And so now I'll rewrite the number so that it's now 110, 7 ones. And now I have both orders of magnitude present, ones and tens, but I also have numbers associated with each of these orders of magnitude, 7 ones, 1 10. Now there's a third and final inconsistency that shows up when we have numbers like 402 tens. And the thing to notice here is that I've expressed the units both tens and hundreds, but if I consider the nearby numbers, there's a smaller unit that I've omitted. That would be the ones. Now I've expressed the units hundreds and tens. I have numbers associated with each of those units, but there's actually a smaller unit that I haven't included. I've omitted the ones. Now, it might not be entirely clear why we'd want to include the ones in the first place, but if you look at the numbers that are close by, for example, if you look at the number after 402 tens, you would describe that as 402 tens 1, 1. And so nearby numbers would have the ones expressed, and so we should do the same for this. And so maybe we'll include a phrase like indicating that there are no ones present in the number. So we might describe our number as 400, 2 tens, no ones. Now, how would we write a number like this? Well, as before, we're going to replace our number words with symbols. So our number 400, 2 tens, no ones. I'll replace the symbol for 4. I'll replace the 2 with the symbol for 2. And then I need a symbol to indicate that we have no ones. How do I do that? Well, first of all, we actually need a number name for that, and so if we have no ones, we'll use our word 0, of course, to indicate that. So we have 0 ones, and now we need a symbol to represent the number 0, and the symbol is going to be our 0 symbol, which looks very much like an open emptiness. So there's my symbols 400, 2 tens, 0 ones, and my last step is going to be dropping those unit designators, and I get my expression for the number 400, 2 tens, no ones.